As the title says, this video is all about painting non-metallic metal steel and non-metallic metal copper. And just bear with me, this is gonna take me a little while to explain, like 5 minutes or so. So if you don't have the time, that's completely fine, but your paint job is gonna probably look something like this. And you don't really want that, right? Alright, and let's start. Gonna start with the copper. There are little Ferris skulls inside these things, and before I start painting these, I have to fill in the recesses with black. You could also go for null oil, but I just wanted to be sure that no white will be visible through the layer. Now of course there is gonna be a layer of Ushabti bone on these bones and skulls, so do that real quick while avoiding the black recess. Right after that, we are gonna take the best tool we have, the Agrax Earthshade, and shade the entirety of the bones and skulls. You can still be quite generous with it, as these parts are still far from done. Coming back to Ushabti bone, this time I'm gonna layer most of the bones, leaving the wash just in the recesses. Highlight of the bones and skulls is gonna be made with Screaming Skull. And just note that this is so tiny detail that you should get the thinnest brush that you have. You can even add a little bit of off-white to your Screaming Skull to make yet another highlight on these bones. Now to actually start with the copper, I'm gonna base coat all of these parts with Rhinox Hide. I like starting really dark and going lighter when I'm painting non-metallic metal, and you could actually see that when I was painting all gold parts. By the way, if you wanna see how I painted the gold, visit the link in the top right corner. With all copper parts base coated, I will build reflections with Vallejo model color red leather. By the way, this recipe is also from NMM paint, so shout out to him, and I will actually leave a link in the description for his Instagram. So anyway, I will now place reflections on quite a huge area of all copper parts, where I think that light lands the most. Now this might be too brutal contrast, and it is, so you will have to smooth it out as you go along the way. Simply get the watered down darker layer and glaze over the transition for a smooth gradient. You will also see me push the pigment where I think should be the lightest part, and that way the layer there will be thicker and more opaque. So just as I said, you can see me come back to Rhinox Hide to smooth it out. And you will go like this back and forth until there is a nice gradient visible. You can either achieve this by applying thin layers, almost glazes, or you can sort of wet blend it as the paint is still active. This is what I achieved after some time, and you can see where I am painting those reflections. Of course, we still got a long way to go, and we will make the contrast higher so it looks metallic. And notice on this little thing under his sword that reflections are put in a different direction, not next to each other. Perfect, so this is now even painted hilt of the sword, and we are ready to progress. I'm gonna take Vallejo model color Sunny Skin Tone and mix it with my red leather in 1:1 ratio. Now I will highlight most exposed edges, and I will also put a layer on smaller part of all reflections. Unfortunately, I got some really bad camera angle, but hopefully you get the idea. Simply paint a layer there and smoothen the transition with previous darker paint. We will do the same steps over and over again. This time I am taking pure Sunny Skin Tone and I am painting even smaller surface. I would recommend being more gentle here, as the contrast is getting quite obvious now and there is no need to overdo it. You always want to stack the paint in the middle of the reflection, so leave the most brush strokes there. Of course, I will be also highlighting the edges with my brighter paints, so you can do that as you go along. Now the edges all around the sword hilt are a little too blunt for me, but even so I am trying to define them. Just be careful not to hit too much of the dark parts, as you truly need contrast between the reflections and shades, as that is the key when you are painting non-metallic metal. It is almost impossible to be accurate 100% of the time, so just be ready to go back to your Rhinox Hide or whatever dark layer and fix any mistakes. For the final highlight, which can be selectively added to some edges, I'm gonna add Ivory to my sunny skin tone so it is mixed in 1:1 ratio. As I mentioned, you do not have to paint all the edges with this mix, but maybe just the most revealed ones. Alright, so now the copper parts are finished with smooth gradient and great contrast going for them. Now to finish the middle part of the hilt, I'm base coating it with corn red. Honestly, I can get any other paint, just pick anything that looks good. As always, be really careful around already painted parts. Now I will combine Bugman's Glow with a little bit of Ivory and highlight these parts. Currently it is so dark that you don't really have to shade it in any way. Sometimes it takes me more than one brush stroke to make an edge highlight, so just be patient. And if you screw it, just get back to corn red to thin the edge highlight. Now the hilt is pretty much done and I will choose more pinkish paint to highlight the little chain thing. So that is gonna be with Emperor's Children, and just be careful so the paint doesn't get into the recesses. I went even lighter with full grim pink and it will make the chain stand out a little more. Honestly, you could just leave a small dot on each section and that would be just fine, but I decided to leave there a small layer instead. So now the entire sword is finished and I think it looks just great. For the base coat on the leather, I will start with a mix of these two bad boys in 1:1 ratio. This looks way too light and not very opaque, but just slap on there a few layers and it will be alright. The leather will look scratched and damaged, so if it looks a little bit sloppy at this point, it will not matter all that much. Base coat has been built quite nicely and we are gonna put on there first layer of pure XV88. Here it is gonna be a little different, so you want to aim your brush strokes from middle out. With this motion you don't have to cover the entirety of the leather parts, but just about 50%. And another interesting thing is that if the brush strokes are actually visible, it will look like the leather is scratched and kinda weathered. So being a little bit messy here works to your advantage. So with this sort of stippling motion you wanna build a layer on sides. The most paint, of course, should be left on the edges. Now I'm adding here a little bit of Ivory and the same applies. The layers should not be consistent and brush strokes should be visible as they sort of imitate the scratches. Even so, I would recommend adding more water than usual because you can add more layers as you go, but going back would be actually harder. I also added some irregular curves to the middle part of the bolt pistol case, so it looks scratched. And now, with even more Ivory added, I will do the same motion around the edges to highlight them. And really just look at the motion of my brush. So now, since I painted a scratch in the middle, there should be a recess for that. So I took a little bit of Rhinox Hide to paint it above the light scratch curve. Now it might happen that you paint over those curves, and in that case just get the previous paint on there. I just basically stipple on some dots around it. Now I consider the leather finished and we are really getting close to finishing this miniature. So now it is time to paint the purity seals. And I actually made a whole video on this exact topic, so you can watch that video. There is gonna be a link in the top right corner or in the description. But you know, for this guide to be called full, I am still gonna cover it, but it's gonna be super quick, so just bear with me. So you base coated the parchment part with Ushapti bone. Then you take corn red to do the same for the wax. Take literal unicorn tears in a jar that improve every single paint job and slap it on the entire area. Highlight the parchment paper using these paints, progressively going lighter on more elevated parts. And paint some lines on the parchment paper so it looks like text, either with black or Rhinox Hide. Use a 1:1 ratio mix of pink horror and corn red for the first wax highlight. Another highlight of pure pink horror. Now adding Ivory to the pink for yet another highlight. And now we are done with the purity seals. Now we are once again gonna paint non-metallic metal, and this time it's gonna be steel. And you know, once you get the principles of painting non-metallic metal, it's all about that deliberate practice, as Vince Venturella would say. So I'm gonna pretty much repeat the same advice here, just as when I was painting non-metallic metal gold or copper. I will start with the first layer of Mechanicus Standard Grey. I am not too afraid to get messy, but surely avoid the already painted parts. After all, we are really close to being done with this miniature. Some parts will be really hard to get to, so be extra careful around the hands, for example. I'm gonna add Abaddon Black to this paint in 1:1 ratio to paint a layer on the bolt pistol casing. Now the casing itself is not gonna be metallic, but there is gonna be a slight grey gradient anyway. Now back to my steel part. This is gonna be a layer of intermediate blue for about 50% of steel surface. As always, water down the paint so you will make the transitions smooth enough. I am skipping here some parts, but hopefully you get the idea. Just cover around 50% of all steel parts. I will add silver grey to get 1:1 ratio mix, and I will cover even less surface. Roughly 30%, but who really measures it, right? Just pretty much do it according to your feeling. As I said, I'm gonna repeat myself here quite a bit, but focus on making it smooth and having high contrast in the middle of the reflections. If the gradient is too rough, just get back to your previous layer and glaze over the rough transition to smoothen it. However, if you go for a really thin layer with quite a lot of water, this should not happen too often. You can watch on this grenade right here how I am building that reflection. With these left-right strokes, I am trying to make it more diluted and smooth. That way you are able to build reflections quite fast. Pretty similar motion is used here on the bolt pistol. You know, there is not just one way to paint non-metallic metal, so you will have to find your own style or way. And by the way, flat surfaces are way easier to paint with non-metallic metal than curved and round shapes like the barrel. I actually struggled with the barrel on the bolt pistol quite a lot. Now we are gonna add yet another layer. This one will be so bright that I recommend thinning it down as much as you can and gradually adding it on the smallest area. Chances are that you are gonna have to come back often to previous layers to make it smooth. And at the same time with this paint I am also gonna put it on all of these steel edges. But of course don't make them too thick like you will see me here. Right on the barrel I used a layer thin enough so there was precisely the amount that I wanted to use. So after edge highlighting and coming back and forth between lighter and the darker layers, I have successfully finished the front side. So now I still have to do the other one. So pretty much I'm adding more highlights to make it really bright and reflective. Here I'm making the reflections lighter, and since the gradient was too rough, I glazed even over darker areas with less opaque layer. So even if you lose control along the way, just play around with opacity of your layers, as that is also the key of building smooth gradients. To fully finish the non-metallic metal, I am adding pure white dots to the most exposed steel corners. Now this is purely optional, but it is also a cool way to hide any imperfections. I am adding some scratches to the steel with pure silver grey. Just few thin strokes here and there. This of course doesn't end with this, so I will add Abaddon Black so there is some underlying recess. So that is it for the steel parts, even the grenade. And of course I added some minor highlights and scratches off cam, but hopefully you will now be able to achieve something similar, as it truly is not that hard, but sort of time consuming. I will now finish the bolt pistol casing too, building a gradient using Mechanicus Standard Grey. All that I am doing is covering some parts with thin glazes. I will add a little bit of silver grey to glaze over those highlighted parts once more. And of course, I am covering even less area. And after putting there some layer, building that nice clean gradient, this is what we got. You can clearly see that I edge highlighted the hell out of the casing, and it really made all the difference. But even so, if you notice any imperfections, just try to fix it. For example, right here I decided to darken the gradient because edge highlights did not really stand out all that much. This is yet another optional step, but if you are just as autistic as I am, you will do this. So add blue horror dot on every edge corner of the bolt pistol casing, and after that we are truly close to finish. So now most things are finished. We got a nice result, but I noticed that there is a cable on his right knee, which has to be painted. So I decided to go for something neutral, which in this case is dark blue, so it doesn't stand out too much. After that I added some ivory for a quick highlight and called it a day. Alright guys, so the video now is almost over, and the series where I teach you how to paint Sons of the Phoenix is almost over too, but you can now say that I didn't show you how to apply decals and how to paint the base, and you are totally right. But yeah, you are totally correct. So in the next video I will actually show you how to apply decals and also how to make them yourself. So yeah, if you learned something new today and you wanna see more content like this, subscribe to my channel, it will help out a lot. And if you wanna help the channel out, feel free to give this video a thumbs up so the Emperor will bless me and he will shove this video in front of others. So yeah, otherwise this is it. Let me know if you have any feedback in the comments and if you have any topic that you want me to cover, and this is it. See you guys.